Okay, so we went on a beach trip this one time, and let's say you're going to the beach.
And everybody has matching towels.
There's a bunch of people, and everybody's bringing something.
A lot of good-looking women out.
A lot of good-looking women.
Matching towels.
A lot of matching towels, seafood. Lots of fun.
You know, things you find at the beach.
Things that you find at the beach.
Did somebody go under the dock?
There's sand.
So, yeah.
Does they got an arcade, but one of them shooting gallery things?
No,
Were there boys with bikinis and girls with surfboards?
What the fuck kind of fucked up beach is that shit?
It's the B-52.
As Venice Beach.
No, didn't find a rock lobster. Ate plenty of blue crab, though.
There goes a narwhal. Pass the tanning butter.
Is
Was
this
it like
in
that?
Scandinavia or some shit?
No, this is Gulf Shores, Alabama. So
Same thing.
They don't have narwhals in Alabama.
I know. But, yeah, so, if you're going to the beach, you bring chips, beer, things like that. I went to the beach with a person who just brought a gigantic, 2-gallon bottle of bleach. That was all he brought. Everyone else brought peanuts and eggs and milk.
They had a different plan
and
than everybody
gin
else.
and pina colada mix, like shit you would expect. And this dude just brought a giant bottle of bleach, and so
And a knife.
No, we sat up.
Was he defending himself, where he had the bleach and the knife?
Get rid of the evidence.
We sat up the first night, and we were all he went to sleep early. We were all freaking out. We were like, oh my god. This guy, because we were thinking he would pour it in our ears like Claudius. That's what reminded me of it.
Did he know that you don't need bleach if you get stung by a jellyfish? You just pee on your stuff.
Yeah.
You don't have to bring the bleach.
Are you sure it was bleach?
It was definitely bleach, and we asked him. We were like, "Why'd you bring this?" He was just like, "Oh, for laundry." And I'm like, "What are we all wearing linen tunics this whole time?"
It's all white.
It does make sense, though. I mean, it's a practical reason.
This is the same person. I should come up with a pseudonym for this person because
But it's not Nerm Sturgis.
It's not Nerm Sturgis. It's somebody else.
It's not Mossman.
Nerm Sturgis is a great name.
Nerm Sturgis is a pseudonym.
How about
for
Sexton Hardcastle?
There we
It can
go.
be Sexton Hardcastle.
Okay, so Sexton, we get to the beach. That's the perfect name.
Sexton Hardcastle.
Yeah, so Sexton's down at the beach with us. He brings all this bleach. We're freaking out. The night I get there, Sexton's a weirdo, by the way. He's a super weirdo.
Apparently.
Really?
Here's something Sexton did, for instance.
Brought a gallon of bleach to the beach with him.
He brought a gallon of bleach. One time, my friend Sierra just woke up one morning, and there was a 3-chambered sink like you would see in the back of a restaurant. Like a big metal sink with 3 sinks.
Right.
Just sitting on her front yard. And she's like, what? Who the fuck left a giant metal sink in my yard? And then weeks later, Sexton was at a party at her house, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, did you see the sink I left in the yard?"
He's got some kind of fetish for industrial cleaning.
Is he like a janitor now?
He's got OCD. Washed his hands 12 times.
He just really wanted to be a janitor. You know?
He's a goddamn alien from outer space. That's the only explanation we've come up with to explain this dude. Because he goes, "Hey, did you see the sink I left?" She's like, "Yeah, that was you. Why did you leave an industrial sink in my front yard?" He goes, "Oh, it's for Halloween. You could fill it up with blood or something."
Bleach?
This was in January.
This was in the summer.
Yeah.
I mean, because at first, a
bleach.
A 3-chambered sink would make an awesome beer cooler. If you blocked up the bottom of it, that would make the most awesome beer cooler ever. But no, he went the blood direction.
But it's not like he said anything immediately. He dumped it in her yard and just expected her to know that she was supposed to use this for fake blood.
And
So did he
go outside?
Yeah.
So did Sexton Hardcastle think of the fake blood thing first, the Halloween thing first, or was this just him trying to save face? No, it's not weird. It's like Halloween, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. During that beach trip, this happened. The night I got there, it was this huge beach house. Everybody, had their rooms taken up, and I got there. I was the last person to get there. And I was like, "Fuck, man! I hope there's a bed. I hope there's a place to stay." And so I walk into the back room, and there's the kids' room with these 2 little twin beds, and Sexton Hardcastle's on one of them. I'm like, "Dude, I will have a bed this whole weekend because nobody wants to sleep next to this weirdo."
Yeah.
So I put all my shit on the bed. Perfect. We're all hanging out, and then afterwards, I go into the room. And I lay down. I cut off the lights. I lay down in the bed, and right before I'm about to turn over, he goes, "I was doing a lot of research about celebrities before I got here." and I'm just in the other bed, yes. And he goes, "Some of these people got famous just for being able to party the hardest. Chris Farley is the most recent example, and they're
the most recent example. Did you guys go to the beach in
1997? Yeah, no. He goes, Chris Farley's the most recent example, and there are gender issues too."
There are gender issues too.
That was, and I didn't say. I was just like, all right.
I like the fact that he keeps the sociological.
Yeah, I know. I can get into that.
Take
was
that
so
in
weird.
account.
Yeah.
But that was out of nowhere.
You don't mess with the sex, man.
Yeah.
And that was the first time you woke up with a bleach-covered towel over your face.
right.
But it wouldn't
Not
be
the
the last.
last time.
Not the last.
I think it was bleach.
Well, and then
Smelled like it.
It smelled like bleach.
I wasn't in the car for this, but apparently on the ride home, some other people were riding with Sexton Hardcastle. They get to
Love Sexton Hardcastle.
That's his autobiography.
man.
Riding with Sexton
riding with
Hardcastle.
Sexton Hardcastle. They get to a gas station and everybody goes inside.
Sounds like a Tom Waits lyric.
I've been riding with
Sexton Hardcastle.
This whole thing.
We were in a old Oldsmobile Cutlass with Sexton Hardcastle riding shotgun.
bleach.
They get to this gas station. Everybody goes inside for snacks. They get back in the car, and he's sitting in the back. He goes, "Hey, you want some Andy Capp's hot fries?" And
Oh, fuck yeah.
and everybody in the car
Well, duh.
was
Yeah.
like, "No, I'm good, thank you." And then after he offers them to everybody, he goes, "Yeah, I just can't believe somebody would throw these away." He found a bag of hot fries in the trash can and then
I gotta say
offered
one
them
thing.
to everyone.
I gotta say, who thought that Andy Capp was the perfect promotion for these hot fries?
Especially them, like Andy Capp's a British thing,
Yeah.
right? And then it's just like nobody
fries.
outside the South eats Andy Capp's hot fries. That's like Southern cuisine, you know.
Well, they eat it in the North in England.
Goes
Yeah.
great with bleach.
Yeah.
I don't know who Andy Capp was.
He was a comic strip from
Yeah.
England.
Oh, okay. I mean, I know him from
know the
Hot
Hot
Fries.
Fries.
Literally.
Well, no, that's the thing.
To Pat's point, I only know him from Hot
He's
Fries.
one of them guys like Flint Stones, where like he gets a license, or Ecto Cooler, which we
Yeah.
have to discuss sometime, where he gets a license, and that license almost becomes more famous
Than-
than
yeah,
what
than
he
what he
actually
was.
did,
Right.
at least in some quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it really proves my theory that Northern England and the South are very kindred in their redneckness.
Wife beating.
Yeah. They're
Oh,
just like the
absolutely.
same types, just different types of football.
Sexton Hardcastle used to. We have in Auburn a place called Tumor's Drugs, and they're famous for
Tumors.
Tumors
Drugs.
Drugs.
Named after.
They're-
Only in Auburn.
They're famous for their lemonade, right? So they would just squeeze
not their drugs.
thousands and thousands of lemons,
Yeah.
and throw them in this dumpster in the back. And Sexton Hardcastle used to get in the dumpster and get the lemons because he was like, "Oh, these shouldn't go into a landfill. This should be
Composted?
composting this." But here's the thing: he
Very
didn't-
eco-friendly.
Yeah.
No. He didn't have a compost heap at his house. My friend Annie did.
He built one in someone else's yard.
He would drop bags of rotten lemons on my friend's doorstep, just assuming she'd be cool with dumping that in her compost heap. And
I
she's
think I
like,
saw a
"What
Curious
the fuck?"
George episode.
Yeah.
The same damn thing.
Sexton Hardcastle used to get in fights with bar owners because they didn't recycle. So he would just like
I
start.
like the fact that he's an eco warrior.
Yeah, he's like an eco-terrorist.
Yeah, no, and he would get thrown out. He would get like thrown out of the bars and shit. Like he was banned
Have a
from
little
the.
Captain Planet ring.
I like that. Yeah, that's like the one the bar owner never sees is the guy who like gets in a fight and wants to and is like belligerent because of the recycling. And
That's like,
it's not like he's not too drunk and he's not like fucking
You
looking
ain't
at girls.
recycle, shithead.
Yeah, no, for real. He would go in there, order water, and yell at them for throwing away bottles and
water
shit.
and then yelling.
That's entrapment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit.
Did he
But an eco-friendly piece
The
of
first time I ever met,
Did he ever wear shoes? Was he one of those guys that never wore
he
shoes?
wore the Adidas shower shoes, if I remember correctly.
You know a lot about this guy's footwear.
I know.
Well, no, he's a memorable guy because he's the only person I've ever met who's from outer space.
Right.
Because that's the only way this guy makes sense. The first time he ever met me, he was like, "Oh, hey, I've heard so much about you," and I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, you believe in God?" We've known each other for 5 seconds.
I kind of like this
I
guy.
do too. I kind of think he'd be a good guess.
I'm a little bit scared about the bleach shit.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's just what they drink on his planet. I don't know.
Yeah.